Hi everyone, Emerald Isle Golfer here again, and doing something different this time, but let me explain it to you.
Good morning, Emerald Isle Golfer here. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. It's cold. Course has been reopened after a week of being closed due to rain. So excited to get out and see how we get on. Doing a bit of a different one today. Going to play a random club selection challenge. I asked Reddit what my next round should be, and they said, hey, random club selection. So I've got a little random club selector app on my phone, and we'll see what shots I play. Thanks.
This is what I have in my bag: driver, 379 woods, 7 iron, 8 iron, 9 iron, gap wedge, pitching, and sand wedges, a chipper, yes, old man club, and a putter. First hole, par 4, 406 yards. I do apologize for the wind noise. I have just invested in a better microphone. I'm currently using my iPhone to film and using the iPhone mic, which is awful. So I can only apologize for the noise levels. I'll see if I could fix it in the edit. So my first shot, I selected a gap wedge, or rather the random app generator selected a gap wedge for me.
As gap wedges go, that was an excellent shot. Didn't progress me very far though.
So now I had a 7 wood, which I hit badly. There wasn't much warm up. It was pretty early. It was pretty cold,
Not
but
a
no
good shot.
excuse.
It's setting me in the right direction.
This shot goes a little bit further than the tracer. The tracer messed up a bit there, but oh gosh, that noise really is appalling.
Well, that's too much.
I neglected to record the putting, but I two putted, so down for a 6. Second hole, downhill par 5. And again, for some reason, record in slow motion, hit the wrong button. Um, I thought this random golf club challenge would be entertaining, different way to play. Turns out it is entertaining, but it's also really annoying at times. Um, I'm hitting my driver fairly well at the moment.
So, second shot on the par 5, it's selected a 3 wood, which is more club than I'd usually go for here, but we'll see what happens.
Sorry, I thought I'd let myself speak. So as I say, I've been hitting my driver pretty well at the moment. I enjoy hitting my driver. I'm pretty accurate off the tee. Don't tend to lose balls, keep them in play. And when I don't have that in my disposition, then I obviously struggle a bit because I'm playing all sorts of other random things. So I don't necessarily think I'll do this
Okay,
random challenge
that's worked
again.
out well. If the golf gods give me a good club selection on this next shot, could be looking at getting on the green in 3, which would be good no matter what club I'm playing. But when I'm playing a random selection, it'd be especially nice.
Again, so sorry about the noise. I didn't have my club head covers with me, so therefore clinking and also wind. As I say, I think I'll probably do this challenge again, maybe with some friends, not by myself, because it's just vexing.
So that pitching with that 9 iron it gave me went directly into the water. So that was a shame. It was my third shot, penalty 4. I'll be laying 5. New ball, and the random generator gave me a driver from about 50 meters away.
Although, to be honest, it is actually fun trying to execute
Not enough
shots
for a good
with clubs that you'd
but
usually never
let's see what
consider,
we can do.
because I don't think it's a skill that's going to be particularly useful at any given time, clicking on driver from 50 yards out. But, it's
You
still
know
a
what?
fun thing to try to
That's
do.
about as good a shot as I was going to play. Try to get it close.
So obviously, I'm not able to choose
Whew.
my clubs, so I don't get to use my beloved chipper, which is a pity. And that one just went a bit far. As you can see, my putting woes continue. There'll be a number of occasions in this round where I leave myself just millimeters short, which all adds up
So that
to
was a 7, 2 putted. Again, I've scored that well or that badly, depending how you want to look at it, with my normal club selection as well. So there you are. Next hole, par 3.
so yeah. So we'll see how we get on. This one, as you've seen on the channel before, it's a lovely hole, but gap wedge is never going to get there.
pretty decent. Was never going to get there with that club, but straight, right direction, just off the green. So we'll see what club I'm given next to try to make it. From that distance, it's going to be some form of bumper run, and the club selection doesn't really matter all that much. Famous last words, right?
I was actually given a pitch point, which was great. Yeah, so this shot's not bad. Again, I need to work on my framing. I'm blocking your view as the audience of the hole. And again, putting mediocre. Winter greens, well, not winter greens, regular greens, but see, look at that.
Oh,
I mean, how did that not go in? But the greens
again,
have been left to grow a little
this
bit
is what I
higher.
do. Leave it millimeters short. That, however, was a good putt. Happy enough with a 4 on this hole.
My wife, I don't know if you guys caught that broad northern accent. My wife is watching a funny clip sitting next to me and decided she wanted to contribute to the recording of this.
Decent shot, reasonable distance, about as far as I ever hit my 9-wood. And hopefully, depending on club selection, we'll be able to have a go the second par 5, which is a relatively short par 5, in 2. Lucky selection, got a 7-wood.
I wanted to hammer this 7-wood with predictable results as you're about to see. Oh dear. The ground is also very soft, to be fair, so you can see the ball
Which
just
I hit
basically
really,
plugged.
really badly.
Yeah, on a drier day, I might have gotten away with that, but that was
Gap
just
wedge
poor.
from 180 meters. Might see if I can blade this a little bit. Let's see what happens.
The random club generator gave me an awful lot of wedges. Gap wedge and sand wedge, I think, are the clubs that selected most often.
As gap wedges go, it was excellent.
Yeah, then obviously pick up the divot, look after the course, it'll look after you.
Again, as sand wedges go, pretty decent, but it's not really progressing in the direction that I want. This challenge, while fun for a change, can also be a little bit annoying. Oh, sit down. That actually worked out surprisingly well. Topped it a bit, I'm going to be honest, but took a nice bounce off the front of the green. Sorry, my buggy is going crazy, or my little caddy's going crazy on me. So nice bounce off the front of the green, slowed it down, and we've now got about, say, a 10-foot putt, which means I'll 2-putt it. I predict I will leave this an inch short of the hole.
And for once, I was wrong. So getting down on this par 5 for
Oh,
6, using mostly gap wedges, I'm actually quite pleased with that.
so par 3, uphill. Club's giving me a 3-wood. Isn't, I think, quite the club I need, but let's see how we get on. Flop it on there, that's the plan. Wow. Or, you know what? It's on the green. As I've said before, and I'll no doubt say again, it's better to be lucky than good. Did try to open the club face, loft it up, flop it up there. What actually happened is I bladed it and sliced it. Who slices a pitching 9-iron? But hey, I'm on the green, so 2 putts, bogey, and that's okay.
I do, in fact, spoiler alert, 2-putt this for bogey, which is again, a bogey on a par 3 at an 18 handicap golfer. I'm happy with that. Was actually a really rather good putt. My lag putting's actually been okay. I'm pretty decent from far out. it's the 6 to 8 foot range where I just struggle with pace and I tend to leave myself just a little bit short far too often. It's frustrating. Um, yeah, the picture, by the way, I was trying to pull a funny face and then had I would make a Marvel image of it and it went a bit weird, but it made me laugh, so I decided to leave it in. So a hole where I actually get to use my driver off the tee. Good drive. Pretty straight on the left edge of the fairway where I wanted
This
it.
random club generator seems to be giving me pitching wedges a lot. I just looked for the first app, or the first website I could find on Google, and it seems to like the number 9 an awful lot. But there you are, gap wedge, 150 meters out.
The way I worked it, I had drivers club number one all the way up to club number 11, and it just generated the number, and that's the club I used in case anyone was wondering how. But yes, the wedges seem to come up an awful lot.
Tried to blade that, but sliced it instead. I think slicing a gap wedge is an impressive skill that I don't think everyone has. So it's a shot I'm glad to have in my bag. See what happens.
I think if you take yourself too seriously on the golf course, you're just going to give yourself a heart attack.
Oh, stunned that into the bank on a slightly drier day. That would have popped up and turned out lovely. But it's not a drier day, so it just stuck there. A little bump around with the 9 wood, which is actually not a terrible selection.
I've been doing okay actually up until now. This shot is just I hit it far too hard and it just ran out the back of the green. And then the next shot I do something similar. So these are not shots that I practiced ever. So live and learn. I don't think I'll be using a 9 wood again to chip with.
So the lofted 9 wood was great for that shot, but just a bit too much oomph. It's not a club I've practiced this shot with particularly often, so ran out the back, but okay.
And there I'm using a 3 wood, try to get it back close again too hard, and just shoots so far past it, shoots out of frame. And that was just
More.
badly aimed, badly struck, just generally poor execution. This one's not any better, to be perfectly honest with you. So with 3 putt, which isn't great, that's an 8 on this hole, which is the real blow up hole of the round. But there you are. So par seven, hole seven, par four, sand wedge off the tee again. Um, it's an okay shot, but it was a sand wedge. It was never really going to go anywhere.
That actually did what I wanted to do. I closed the club face a bit, tried to blade it, keep the loft as low as possible, and it stayed low. And the sand wedges off the tee go, it's pretty good.
So I'm just this hole is just to give you guys a sense of the views that we have here. We're right near the coast. It is a beautiful day. Again, I do apologize about the wind noise. It was just a really nice, and there's me. It's just a nice morning after a week worth of rain, and the course has just got some fantastic
Wow.
views. That was a very badly pulled shot. Um, yeah,
Tried to close the club face a little bit on that 8 iron to de-loft it and therefore get a bit more distance. But what actually happened is I actually just pushed it way left. So first truly errant shot of the round in the rough somewhere. See if we can find it and see what club I'm given to try to get myself out of trouble with. Sand wedge again. I think that might actually be the right club.
by the way, you may have noticed I'm playing off the red tees. I decided to do that, seeing as I knew that I wouldn't be hitting driver on every hole, and a little bit of extra distance doesn't do any harm. And it's also actually quite fun to play the course from the different tees, just to get a slightly different experience.
Turns out that was not the right club.
Again, having just said how well I'd been doing in my lag putting, the last two holes had left myself quite long putts and did not do anything even vaguely impressive with them. That one was woeful. This one was also not great, and then obviously just tapped in. So that's two, three putts in a row. That doesn't help anyone's scorecard. So holes five and six are the ones where I really kind of sorry, six and seven are those where I really kind of messed up the score at an eight and a seven, uh, partially down to bad putting, but also just a few errant shots. I didn't really give myself a target of what I tried to achieve score wise. I just kind of wanted to try this experiment. But you'll see the total score in the end.
So I
It's
was trying to push
nothing
it left a
exciting.
little bit to avoid that bunker, but not as far left as it is. By the way, look at this view. Wicklow is really the garden, well, known as the Garden of Ireland. I might be biased because I live here, but I do think it's one of the prettiest counties.
Part of the point of this channel is to sort of showcase the beauty and glory of Irish golf courses uh, in all conditions.
On the green in three, which is about as well as I ever do. So that just shows that my club selection really isn't that important, which is a bit depressing. I just want to show you some more views. We're on top of the eighth green here. Beautiful view of the Irish Sea. You can then see there's water in the background. Well, there's the ocean obviously, but in front of that there's some water that isn't usually there, that's flooding. And then you can see Bray Head, Little Sugarloaf, and Big Sugarloaf. Just glorious, glorious, glorious part of the country.
So, like I say, we're coming into the winter time, so there's a lot of the golf you're going to see is going to be probably fairly damp, probably fairly cloudy. I'm going to try to avoid filming in the rain if I can possibly, but sometimes if you play golf in Ireland, you have to play in the rain. So, but once you invest in some good rain gear, it's absolutely fine.
Three putted the last three holes. Not very pleased about that. Starting to get a touch tired. I don't usually walk, so I'm not as fit as I could be. So something to work on.
I really enjoy driving around a golf course in a buggy. It makes filming a lot easier as well, to be perfectly honest with you. But walk when you have to. Golf in Ireland means rain gear. Golfing around means also sometimes that there's no buggies allowed. Ninth hole, got to use driver again. Another good shot. Very pleased with how my driver is working at the moment. Um, Pleased with my fairway woods as well. Typically, this is not a great example of one, but
What the hell?
sorry for the slightly salty language.
Okay, that's well, the good news is it was a very straight shot. The bad news is it went about 30 degrees left of where I wanted to.
So free wood out of super muddy ground that was never going to go anywhere. And then a sandwich. But once I got a
Sandwich again,
wedge
bump
in
and
the
run.
appropriate time.
I'm gonna try to get this quite high and land it nearish the pin. I'll just roll out a little bit, hopefully. Well, I got it quite high. I did not, however, land it near the pin. So you know what? I'm a work in progress, and I'm okay with that.
As I was saying, the part of my game that needs the most work, I think, like a lot of people, is my short game. My putting's not great. I had three putts in a row there. And that's just unnecessary. Um, Wedges are okay. Like I say, my fairway woods are decent. My driver, I'm pretty happy with. So, like as they say, work in progress. So that was the round. Nine holes, random generator, 18 over par. So that's a 54. What did I learn? What did I learn from this round? I learned that three putting is really bad. If I had putted a little bit better than I did, I think I would have broken 50, which would have been a decent enough score given the club selection that I had. but it was fun. It was frustrating on occasion, that's for sure. I wouldn't necessarily do it again by myself, but with friends, I think a match like this would be quite entertaining. It's a fun way to do things a little bit differently. So let me know in the comments if you think I should do it again with some other people, or if you have another idea of a fun round you think we could do, then I'd be happy to do that. Click the like button, subscribe, notifications, all that other good stuff. And this is our Ireland. This is yeah. Well, I kind of messed up the ending of this, but to be fair, I say maybe one person who is going to hear this last part of the video, and that person is probably going to be my wife. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. This is Emerald Isle Golfer signing out.